What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Appreciate you guys being here this morning. As always, start sits Sunday, week 13. It's crunch time. It is crunch time. We got to get these wins to get into the fantasy football playoffs. Hopefully, you guys have already clinched. I've clinched in a couple of my leagues. Still fighting in a few. So these next 2 weeks are going to be very, very important for us. Hopefully, we can help you guys get some wins today with some start-sit questions. Just wanted to let you guys know right now that our friends of the show, Underdog, if you guys want to sign up, they are offering new customers a free pick right now. You have to sign up using our code. You have to be a new customer. But if Brock Purdy throws for 1 yard or runs for 1 yard, I guess it doesn't really matter how he gets it. As long as he has 1 yard tonight on Sunday Night Football, you guys will win that part of your pick'em entry. You have to sign up using that code, like I said. League FFB, that's the code. You have to use the link in the description. If you're not going to use the code, at least use the link. They will give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well when you use that. So free money, free wins, a lot of free stuff. Hopefully that kicks your Sunday off right. But like I said, I just want to let you guys know about that. When I see we got Frankie in the chat, Frankie says LFG, and that's damn right. Week 13, baby, we here. So like I said, man, we're going to be answering some start-sit questions. I said last week we would probably build a DK lineup as well, just for some extra stuff to do here while we wait for some of these questions to come in, just because as of the last couple of weeks, it has slowed down just a tiny bit. And then also, we'll talk about actives and inactives. So I have a list of actives and inactives right now. Adam Schefter just tweeted it out. So important, guys, for you guys to know about at the moment. Trevor Lawrence, active today, is going to play. So we are able to plug Trevor Lawrence into the lineups. If we're plugging him into the lineups, I'm a little bit nervous about it, just being honest. So Trevor Lawrence, he is active. Breece Hall is active. We can play Breece Hall immediately. I talked about earlier this week on the running back rankings that maybe we would have potentially got some Braylon Allen. If Braylon Allen is not, Braylon Allen, we're not plugging him into lineups now that Breece Hall is active. So just wanted to make that one clear. Alec Pierce is playing, so it should be Adonai Mitchell, Michael Pittman Jr., and Alec Pierce suiting up. No Josh Downs in today's matchup. Pop Douglas is playing, and Tajay Spears is playing. So both of those guys, you can play them. I'm probably not trying to play Tajay Spears at all. You can flex Pop Douglas if you're in a pinch. But outside of that, that's really the starting actives and inactives. I see we got Jake saying good morning. Good morning, Jake. Josiah saying go Cardinals. And, we're not rooting for the Cardinals today. I got Minnesota money line today. And then Frankie says A-Rich or Darnold. I would be playing Darnold today over A-Rich. But I do want to also bring up the fact that Devonta Smith today is a game-time decision. The last that I heard about Devonta Smith, I'll read it exactly from Adam Schefter because it's not great. Just long story short, it sounds like Devonta Smith is not going to play today despite him being a game-time decision. The last we heard about it was, let me find it. Sorry, folks. It's a little bit down there. This man be tweeting his ass off on Sundays. Where are we at? Here we go. It's actually Ian Rappaport. So Ian Rappaport said, wide receiver Devonta Smith is listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. He may work out on Sunday to see if he can go, but sources tell me and Mike Garofalo there is not a lot of optimism that he will be out there. Philly will leave it open, but there just isn't a ton of positivity. So obviously he plays like a 4 o'clock game. I am not waiting on Devonta Smith. I do not believe he's going to play. That from Ian Rappaport makes me feel like he's not playing today. Even if he goes out there and works it out, sounds like he's probably not going to go. I am not going to be playing him. You're going to have to find other options. So some of the options that I went to on my league, I had Gus Edwards. I'm going to play Gus Edwards over him. I have Jeremy McNichols. I'm probably going to look at Jeremy McNichols over him. Pop Douglas, some of these other guys that we've talked about. Those are some of the options, man. So Devonta Smith, it sounds like he's not going to play, unfortunately. So yeah, I just wanted to put that one out there. All right, we do got this question. Sutton or Stevenson in full PPR? I'm definitely going Sutton. Start 2, Flowers, JSN, Dell, Shakir, Jennings, PPR, also Ertz or Disley. Thanks. So starting 2, I'm going to go with Flowers and JSN. And then at the tight end position, I'm going to go I think I'm going to go Ertz. A-Rich or Winston. I'm going to go A-Rich. Griffin says my team is folding. You hate to see it. One of my teams is folding too, man. I traded, just bad luck all year, just injury-wise. Had Ayuk. Obviously, that didn't happen. Diggs didn't happen. Traded my Puka Nacua. I had him early in the year, missed like 8 weeks. Traded him to go end up getting Devonta Smith and George Pickens, and then Devonta Smith misses multiple weeks. So like, bro, it ain't working, man. It ain't working. So I feel you. Jake says, so A-Rich, Levis, or Lawrence to start. I'm probably going A-Rich. Griffin says Debo, Bigsby, Gus, McNick, already playing B-Rob Jr., pick 2. I'm going to go with Gus and Debo. Niner says 6-point passing touchdowns. You got Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence. Oh, this is close, man. I think I'm going to go Trevor in this situation. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Trevor over Bryce. All right, so yeah. I mean, that's kind of where we're at, folks. So I just wanted to bring all of that news up just to make sure that everybody was caught up on what was going on around the league right now. Like I said, we'll also draft one of these DraftKings lineups too. So I'll get that set up. We can pull that up off the screen and talk about that, and still answer some of your questions as they come in, of course. But I wanted to pull that up on the screen so we could talk about that and potentially draft. So we are going to be playing the 35K play action. It's a small little tournament over here on DraftKings. I figured we'd just build the lineup just to have some things to talk about, something to do on screen while we do it. Bogey, though, says half tight end premium, Otten or A. Pierce with downs out and Pittman beat up. I'm going to go Otten in the tight end premium. So give me Otten there. Speaking of which, folks, so if you guys have never done these DraftKings things, they're pretty fun. You get about a $50,000 salary. You have to build a lineup basically with your salary cap. You can target anybody you want on the Sunday main slate. It's pretty much the Sunday games. I think you even have Sunday night football in there as well. So you can really target anybody and go from there. So we'll probably build this team out. You have to have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, and a defensive special teams. So we'll work on this one as those questions come in. Just build this around and have some fun and hang out here before the games. But what I want to do is potentially just start right here at the wide receiver position. We have to have 3 of these guys, so we might as well build this specific lineup around the wide receivers. I got some players that I wanted to target in this one. Would potentially be okay with Nico, A.J. Brown, George Pickens, Ladd McConkey, Marvin Harrison Jr., Tank Dell, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, Quentin Johnson, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Michael Pittman Jr. These are kind of the guys that I'm looking at. So we can build this lineup around those guys. Right now, just looking at the cost of some of these players, A.J. Brown's super expensive, Nico's pretty expensive, and so on. So Puka and Kupp are expensive, so we're probably only going to be able to grab one of those guys. I'll probably build this one around Nico, maybe go like a Nico and Stroud team here and try and build around those 2 guys. Smitty says 2 quarterback leagues, start 2. You got Stafford, May, Purdy, and Young. I would go with I think I'm going to go Stafford, May. I think I might play May over Purdy just with the banged up shoulder and the snow. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go Stafford and May. Stafford should have a really good day, to be honest. Then he also says start 2 wide receivers and start 1 at flex, DK, Dell, McLaurin, Otten. 2 wide receivers, I would go McLaurin and DK, start 1 at the flex. I'm probably going Otten over Dell. So, all right, man. Bogey says, appreciate the content and the input, as always. My other decision is Darnold or Lawrence as my QB2. First of all, no problem. Appreciate you being here. Secondly, I would go Darnold over Lawrence as QB2 today. I just feel more confident he's going to throw the football a little bit more. So he would be my play there. Now, like I said, we're going to probably build this team around. The best way to do this is to start just plugging guys in. So we'll go Nico here, and we know if we have Nico, I probably want to build it around CJ Stroud. So probably going to put CJ Stroud in this lineup. Potentially, if we need to budget and save some money, I don't mind, downgrading from CJ Stroud going to a guy like potentially Matthew Stafford. He's a cheaper guy. Justin Herbert's a cheaper guy. Going to something like that. Those are matchups that I like as well. So Stafford, Herbert. I love the Jalen Hurts matchup. I love Baker Mayfield, but those guys are pretty expensive as well. So we'll go with that. CJ says, morning, bro. Full PPR. Start Baker or Burrow. I'm probably going to play Burrow over Baker. He's just been on a tear lately. Baker's been on a tear too, but I think there's a chance that Tampa Bay ends up running the football a little bit more in this game. I think big games from Bucky Irving, potentially a big game from Rachaad White. I think both of them can get into the end zone this week. But yeah, I'd probably play Burrow over Baker. So, all right, man. So that's where we're at. I want to look at the tight end too. There's a couple matchups we could get, budget friendly potentially on the tight end. Really, Hunter Henry is like my favorite budget friendly option here. He is 4,200. If we needed to go somewhere else, potentially in at 4,500 or Taysom Hill. To me, Taysom Hill is probably the best play on the slate, not named Trey McBride, but potentially could be, the best play even with Trey McBride in there. So Mr. Magic says Kyler or JD. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. Chase says Pittman, Mooney, B-Rob. Start 2. I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with B-Rob, and I think I'm going to go Pittman over Mooney. B-Rob and Pittman. Niner says Westbrook Akine or Noah Brown, half-point PPR. I would rather play Noah Brown. RSG says McNichols or Justice Hill, and Mike Evans or London, full PPR. Give me McNichols over Justice Hill, and then I would go London over Mike Evans. So London and McNichols for me. All right, so let's just plug another guy in, man. We might as well just plug a guy in. I think what I want to do is I want to try and go Taysom. I just feel like that makes the most sense. He's probably going to have a pretty big day. I just love Taysom Hill at the moment. When I'm looking at some of these defensive special teams, I'm probably going to want to try and budget here and pick a team that I think can just get a turnover or something. Daniels, Knicks, I'm thinking Knicks, or Levis. I would be playing... I think I'm playing Daniels over Knicks, personally. And then Jennings, BTJ, MVS, Vele. I would be playing... I think I'm going to be playing BTJ in the full PPR. So I'm going Daniels and BTJ for me. Another screen name. But yeah, so we got that in there right now. I'm probably going to be trying to find a defense that can potentially get some turnovers cheap. Jags, probably not going to be that team. Tampa Bay versus Carolina, probably not Carolina. Just looking around, I think the Cardinals are a cheap play. I know, I'm wearing the Vikings stuff, but I think, Darnold could turn the football over. I mean, he's done it multiple times so far this year. I think they could potentially turn the football over. I think also the New England Patriots are a pretty cheap play. They could potentially keep Anthony Richardson in check today, especially with Josh Downs out. I think that's a sneaky play. And then also another sneaky play that I think could be in there would be, where is it? I guess it's not that sneaky. It's pretty high up there. But I think those would be the sneaky plays, the Patriots or the Cardinals. So I'll kind of go between one of them. Smitty says Colts, Chargers, 49ers, defense, pick one. I am going to go... I think I'll probably go the Chargers defense over all of those. So we'll probably go Chargers. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. So probably end up going with, let's start with New England, and then we'll see what we can go from there. But We have our QB, we have our wide receiver. We probably need to get some running backs in here. I don't mind. I definitely want to have Bucky Irving on here. I think he's the best value play in the slate at the moment. He's going to be a guy that I'm definitely trying to keep on a lot of these teams. And then we'll try and figure somebody else out there too. Chubb, Elijah, or David Moore, full PPR. I would go Chubb in that play. Lucas says B-Rob, JSN, Zay, or Otten at the flex. Give me JSN. Also, that's assuming that's full PPR, Luca. You didn't specify, but if that's full PPR, it's definitely JSN for me. So we'll look at some of these other plays. I think another good value play potentially would be Gus Edwards, just all the way down here. The problem is it's not a great matchup, and he doesn't have a lot of PPR upside, but he could get into the end zone. So that's probably the play that you would try and make if you were trying to be budget friendly there with Gus Edwards. So we could probably put him in here. That would give us more money for our wide receivers and our flex. Right now we're at an average player of 6,000, which is pretty solid. So we could just do that. Johnny says half PPR. Start Ramondre Stevenson versus Colts or Khalil Shakir versus the 49ers. I still kind of want to play Khalil Shakir, but there's not a lot that I am getting out of this weather report for Buffalo. I know it was snowing last night. I know they've been trying to clean up the snow. I don't know how much snow is going to be there. And so it's with it being a Sunday night game, it's a little bit risky. But Ramondre Stevenson just has not been good. I guess the fact that it's a half PPR, you could make the argument that if Ramondre Stevenson gets into the end zone, he just has the better day. So those things considered, with Shakir in the snow, it's half PPR. I'm really not trying to play Ramondre, but I would be playing him because I think he gets the touchdown, or has a higher touchdown chance than Khalil Shakir this week. No problem. Rafi says, good morning, Buffalo or Tampa Bay. I would rather play Tampa Bay defense. Deshaun says, Baker versus the Panthers or Kyler versus the Vikings. I'm going Baker versus the Panthers. So, like I said, we have a couple of these filled out right now. We can move our budget around once we get around there. But another guy that I'd like to try and target on this slate is potentially a guy like George Pickens, maybe. I also really like the Marvin Harrison and the Ladd McConkey matchups. We could probably target those guys. I also like some of these others. I like Michael Pittman, but because we have the Patriots defense, I don't really want to target that one. I think we're going to go... Let's just try this for a second. Let's go... we could go Pickens, McConkey, and if we went Marv, what would we need to make up to go to the next one? We'd need about $800. We could probably find $800 here to make this lineup work. We just got to get budget at the quarterback and probably at the tight end position. Rafi says Mooney or Jennings, half PPR. I'm probably going to go with Mooney. Thoughts on Keon Coleman rest of season? Picked him up for free as some potential playoff depth, but feels weird holding wide receiver instead of running back upside. Yeah, I mean, he's boom bust. I don't love Keon Coleman. I feel like he's very touchdown dependent. I probably would be picking up running back upside over Keon Coleman unless you really need wide receiver help. But I think it's easier to stream wide receiver than it is to find running back upside. Smitty said, would you play ETN over Otten in the flex? I would not. Matthew says, are you going with Stafford in a dome or Burrow at home against Pittsburgh? Probably gonna lean Stafford there. I love Stafford this week. JSN value or trap? I think JSN at 6,300 is okay. He's okay. We might be able to get him in there potentially. I think maybe we could take out Pickens and go JSN. That might be something we could do. We'd still have to make up some money, but that could be something we could potentially do there, Griffin. This is a GPP lineup. This is, I think so. Yes, I think it is. So, yeah, we're trying to figure out how to get our extra $800. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna go from. I mean, this will get us a good chunk of it. If we go from here to Stafford, that'll give us pretty much what we need. If we go from the Patriots defense to, that's not gonna get us what we needed there. Maybe we can go. Let's see what we can do if we take those guys out. Let's take this out and let's try and build around. You said it, JSN, right? DK versus the Jets or Sauce, or Jets and Sauce, or BTJ versus Houston with T-Law back, full PPR. I think I'm gonna go with DK still. I'd still rather play DK, I think, than BTJ. I don't know how much Trevor's gonna throw. We'll see though. I mean, anything is better than Mac Jones, and BTJ still a stud, but I think I'd just rather play DK. He feels like he has a safer floor this week. But if we go here, we take out, if we go JSN, we could go JSN here, and then that would leave us with 6,200 pretty much per player. We could go McConkey and Harrison. That would pretty much give us the lineup that we wanted. We would just have to take out George Pickens, and then we'd have the extra 300. Where could we go QB-wise after that? We could get up to Kyler, but I don't have him over Stafford in my rankings this week. I think this might be the lineup, folks. What do you guys think? We got an extra 300. Can we upgrade the defense at all? We could get up to the Colts defense, potentially. Colts, Bengals, Rams, Falcons, Saints, Eagles, Jets. I don't know. We might be where we're at, potentially. Josiah says BTJ or Connor, leaning BTJ. I probably lean BTJ as well. This matchup for Connor rushing is going to be pretty tough. And then he's going to become very touchdown dependent, in my opinion. Jonathan says, full PPR, CMC or Ken Walker. Also get spicy and start Taysom Hill over McBride. Full PPR, CMC or Ken Walker. I'm probably going CMC. And then am I going to start Taysom Hill over McBride? I don't think I can do it. I probably would still go McBride. I love Taysom this week, but I probably can't do it. Johnny says, Eberflus or Patricia? Is this probably for the WOT, the worst coach of all time? I think I'd take Eberflus over Patricia, personally. Both of these guys are just defensive coordinators, right? Neither of them are head coach material. Jake says, I like the list. So we got the team here. Stafford, Bucky, Gus, Nico, JSN, McConkey, Taysom Hill, Marvin Harrison Jr., and the Patriots. The only thing that I'm thinking we could potentially do is maybe go cheaper at the wide receiver position, or I guess in the flex, and then upgrade the running back. That would be the only thing that I would potentially look at. Griffin says Harrison versus your Vikings got to be a better option at 6,300. Potentially, I think right now Marvin Harrison, well, the Minnesota Vikings, they've been very bad against wide receivers, so we can look at it. I mean, 6,300, you got Pollard. I mean, you got Chase Brown there, right? Chase Brown would be a pretty solid pick. We could maybe go there. I'm wondering what we can do if we take this out. That's 5,300 per. Is there a better budget option maybe in the flex that we could plug somebody in. I mean, Chase Brown feels like a pretty good play at his value. I like Rachaad White at his value, but I don't really want to have both of these running backs. Griffin says, if you don't believe in Kyler, how are you buying Harrison? I didn't say that I don't believe in Kyler. I just think Kyler and Harrison, they can get a couple big plays and still lose the game. I just think that the Vikings have a better run defense than they do a pass defense. Their pass defense has been pretty bad. Jay says, also Bills or Cardinals defense. I would go with Bills defense over the Cardinals defense. Johnny says Winston or Mark Andrews in Superflex, full PPR. I'm going to go Winston. So if we could potentially mix it up here, I think we're good with Collins, JSN, Ladd, Taysom. If I went Chase Brown in the running back slot, that would leave us, 44? And that would not be that good of a player. I mean, we could go Gus. Is that better than Gus and Marv? Feels kind of the same to me, to be honest. Is that better, though? What do you guys think? Should we go Chase and Gus, or should we go Gus and Marv? Mayfield or Burrow, full PPR. I'm going to go Burrow over Mayfield this week. How we feeling, folks? Chase Brown and Gus Edwards, or Gus Edwards and Marvin Harrison? Griffin says Chase and Gus. How the rest of you feeling? Or Kyler Marv for the stack. What is Kyler's price? I like Stafford more than I like Kyler this week. Kyler's at 61. How much do we have left over with the other one? I don't think we even had enough left over. This might be it. Is this it, folks? This might be it. I don't think that there's a better budget option around the Gus price range. I mean, we're talking like 4,500 and down. Otten's a decent play. Hawkinson potentially. Gus. I mean, there's not a lot of options down here that you love. Griffin says same. To be honest, I hate Arizona. Well, I got Vikings money line today with some others thrown in there for a little parlay. I think this is it, folks. I think this is what we're going to place. So I'll place this one. I will call final call on questions, because now that we're done with this one, we'll probably answer the last couple questions that we got and then get on out of here. But we'll go from there. So place that one. Done. Now we see what we do. We'll keep you updated, obviously, next week. Obviously, if that cashes for anything decent, we'll let you know. But I think that might be it for the DraftKings stuff. Want to remind you guys as well, if you guys want to play over on Underdog, which Underdog to me is the best place to play. They're the most user-friendly, all of that other stuff. They are giving new customers a free promo at the moment for Sunday Night Football. If Brock Purdy goes for a total yard, 1 yard, you guys cash that part of your pick'em entry. So I strongly suggest you go sign up if you've never signed up on Underdog. Now, the only way that you can get this free pick, though, is if you sign up using our code League FFB. There's also a link in the description. When you use this code, they'll also give you up to $1,000 in bonus cash, so you can get a bunch of money that you just get gifted to you to go play with on Underdog. You get that free pick'em, hopefully give you a win right away. You're winning money, you're getting money, you're supporting the show, you're doing a bunch of good things. So I strongly suggest you guys do that if you've never done it. Johnny says, how many wins will the Vikings get rest of season? Let's pull up the schedule. Vikings schedule. I know we got a little bit of a tougher schedule going on, but today versus Arizona at home, I like us in this game. So that's one. What else we got? We got Kirk Cousins and the Falcons at home. I like us in that game. Bears, Vikings at home. I like the Vikings in that game. So that's 3. You got the Seahawks on the road. Maybe we drop that one. I think it's a toss-up. Packers game in Minnesota. That's probably a toss-up. And then Vikings, Lions in Detroit. We probably don't win that game in Detroit. I'd say, Johnny, we're probably looking at like 4 to 5-ish. Probably 4 more wins the rest of the way. Having them finish at, what would that be? 13 wins. This is a 13-win football team potentially, which would be pretty damn good. I'd be pretty happy about that season. Warren, Chubb, Thielen, Jawan Jennings, flex, full PPR. I think I'm going to go Thielen in the flex. Dixon says, hey, I'm 6-6 thanks to you. Up from 2-6. Hell yes. Need help. Start Ridley, Adams, Pollard, Shakur. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex, full PPR. So 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. I think I'm going to go with... I think I want Adams and Pollard in the flex and the wide receiver spot. So Adams and Pollard would be who I play. So Spears is in if that makes a difference. It doesn't make too much of a difference to me. I still like the matchup for Pollard this week. Cam says JSN, Flowers, RBJ. Who's RBJ? Who's RBJ? JSN, Flowers, pick 2 at flex. Maybe is that BTJ? I don't know. If that's BTJ, I'd still go JSN and Flowers. I think JSN and Flowers are my 2, but you might have to tell me who RBJ is. I don't know if I recognize that abbreviation. Cam says, also have Thielen, but I don't think he's in that conversation. Not in the same conversation as JSN and Flowers. I'm still confused as to who RBJ is, Cam. Okay. He says Brian Robinson Jr. That makes a lot more sense. He says autocorrect. Yeah, I still am JSN and Flowers over Brian Robinson Jr. Jonathan says, if I can start CMC, I can either flex Ken Walker or Taysom Hill if I start McBride. I would probably go CMC, McBride, and then flex Ken Walker. If that's what you're saying. Yeah, I'd start CMC, I'd start McBride, and then I'd flex Kenneth Walker. Justin with the super chat. Appreciate you, Justin. He says, pick one for the flex. Ridley, Pollard, Najee, and Cooper. Assuming this is a PPR league, I think I'm going to go with... Pollard here. I'm probably going to play him, hope he gets into the end zone. He would be my play. All right, folks, final call here on questions, and then we'll get on out of here. But just wanted to make sure that I give you guys all the time that you need to get those last start sit questions in here. Appreciate you guys that have been here. It means a lot. Got a couple more weeks of this. One more week next week before we get to the fantasy football playoffs. And then I was going to mention, when we get into the fantasy football playoffs, we're going to be moving our schedule of shows. It's pretty much going to be the same thing, but we're going to start live streaming 4 times a week during the fantasy football playoffs. That way I'm like available for you pretty much almost every day of the week. I guess 4 out of the 5 weekdays, a couple weekend times. But we're going to be streaming a lot during the fantasy football playoffs, and part of the reason of that is I'm going to be traveling for Christmas and stuff like that, but I still wanted to be able to live stream and be available to answer your guys' questions. We're just not going to have some of the other videos like waivers. Like in fantasy football playoffs, the waivers ain't that important. We can talk about those in Q&As and streams and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to be moving to 4 live streams a week, 2 Q&As during the week, 1 start sit on Sunday, and then a weekly recap on Monday. So we'll do all of that stuff. We'll talk about waivers on the weekly recap. We'll do all that. But just wanted to let you guys know that the schedule is going to change just for the fantasy football playoffs, but I'm still going to be heavily available to help you guys out through those playoffs. Cam says, love to hear it. Appreciate you, bro. And I appreciate you guys. And then obviously, of course, too, I'm going to be available in the Discord as always. I'm always available in the Discord. If you guys have questions, I try and get in there and answer those. So if you're not a member of the Discord and you want to be in that Discord, make sure you go check that one out. Dixon says, how do we see your full rankings on Fantasy Pros? I don't know where to find that. I don't know your full name. So my full name is Andrew Mott. M-O-T-T is my last name. So you should be able to go find those on Fantasy Pros if you search that up. But I'll try and see if I can just put my Fantasy Pros rankings profile in my link tree on my social medias. That way you can just click the link in the rankings. I'm going to try and do that one. But in the future, next year, when we get into next fantasy football season, maybe even when we get into the off season for Dynasty stuff, what I'm trying to work on is trying to build a website so that way you guys can get my rankings on my website, and that would be very easy for you. We'll pull those, and then you guys can have access to that. So that would probably be the best way in the future. Still just trying to grow this, and obviously it's hard to do big stuff like build a website in season when you got a ton of stuff going on. But I'll try and see if I can get that link for you and put it in the link tree, at least, Dixon. But at the bare minimum, my full name is Andrew Mott. M-O-T-T is the last name. So there you go. TD says, all right, you absolute stud. Start 2, PPR, BTJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devontae Adams, James Cook. Start 2 of these guys. I want to play James Cook and Marvin Harrison Jr. I think those are the 2 that I want to play here this week. Those would be my 2. The Smitty says start 2, Hubbard, Connor, Edwards. I'm going to play Hubbard and Connor. CD Smitty says start Jalen Warren, Jordan Addison, Evan Engram, or Michael Pittman Jr. I'm going to play Michael Pittman Jr. All right. So I did say last call, and then we got a couple more questions. So I guess I'll wait around just a couple more seconds and see what we get. If not, we will wrap this up. But yeah, we'll see what we can get happening. Anything else? Any other news for you guys? I guess not really for the most part. Just going to check and make sure that we have any more news coming from Schefter or Rappaport or anybody. It doesn't look like we have anything late, so we should be all right. Johnny says Green Bay wins rest of season. Let's see what Green Bay has on the schedule, and we can predict that one. And then whatever questions are after this one, when I'm done with this, we'll answer, and then we'll be out. Green Bay has the Lions next week. I don't think that they win that one. So they probably lose to the Lions. Then they have the Seahawks, coin flip. They have the Saints. They win that one. They have the Vikings, I think, coin flip, and they have the Bears. They probably win that one. I think the Packers could win 3-4. I think 3-4 the rest of the way. If they win 3-4, what would that put them at? Standings wise, they would be 12-13 win football team. It's going to get interesting, man. It's going to get interesting. The North is crazy. Demetrio says, good morning. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Who do I play in my flex? Najee Harris or Amari Cooper, full PPR. Appreciate you. Good morning. And hope you had a good Thanksgiving as well. Hopefully you guys are still eating lots of leftovers. But for this question, I would answer Najee Harris. Najee Harris is the guy that I would play over Amari Cooper. It's tough for me to trust Cooper right now, plus with snow in Buffalo at the moment. I don't really know what we're going to do about that. So I think he's a guy that I'm probably leaving on my bench at the moment. But that's it, folks. That was the last question. I'm going to get on out of here. I'm going to get these lineups finally set up and finished off just with some of the final news that we have. Like I said, hopefully you guys can win a week this week if you need one. Hopefully you've already clinched and the last 2 weeks don't really matter. But if you haven't clinched, hopefully we can clinch this week or the next week. That said, though, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, if you want to support the show, maybe you don't have the extra funds to go sign up on Underdog or do any of that stuff. That is the best way to support the show. But the second best way and the easiest way is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and just make sure you keep watching the content, commenting on the content, doing that stuff. That means the world to me. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I'm very thankful for you guys. I said it in the Discord this week. You people that watch this channel, show up, support me, comment, just everything that you do. You guys are what makes this channel grow. And so I put in the work. Obviously, I make the content, but you guys watching is what really does help this channel grow. So I appreciate you guys being here and supporting me. It means a lot. Very thankful for you. Like I said that in the Discord on Thanksgiving. You guys are some of the people that I am the most thankful for. So thank you for allowing me to have a platform to be able to talk fantasy football with you guys. It really is the best thing ever. So I'm very grateful. That said, nothing really else. So again, I will see you on Monday tomorrow for the fantasy football recap for all of Sunday's slate. But you guys keep killing it, man. You guys keep being the GOATs, and I'll see you on our next episode. Until then, peace out.